Our sponsors: The Finkley Experience, HBCU First, The Jamal Bakes Morning Show, J&J Leadership Academy. Thank you for your contributions towards The Michael Finkley Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ursula Robinson, Miss Linda from Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black, and you're watching the only show to watch, The Michael Finkley Show.
Hello everybody, it's Finkley from The Finkley Experience. We're an educational consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education. So we assist students with their college and career endeavors. We train school administrators on the state of first-generation students. And also, we partner with colleges and universities to assist with their first-generation population for easy transition from high school to college. So if you're looking for a presenter or speaker that presents on these topics and so much more, visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com and learn about all that we do. We're looking forward to working with you.
There's a new familiar face this time. Say hello to the new daytime. See it everywhere you go. Doing the greatest show. It's no other than the Michael Finkley Show. There is no other. He's like no other. I'm so glad that someone resonates with me. I'm celebrating. It's time to
Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Now, my next guest, I saw this next guest on the Tamron Hall show last year this time, and she was talking about how the topic of the segment was just how medical green lighting is out there. And I'm telling you, she survived so much from what she went through, and she's now telling her story to others. She's none other than Tamika Smith. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? That's great.
Thank you so much for being with us and just sharing your story of the medical side of you and how it affected you all these many years. But now, hey, I remember you saying in the video, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you, and
Yes.
the world needs to know.
Absolutely.
The world needs to know. So now what we're talking about, Think Fam, is and I've been practicing this all day, so I'm going to try my best to say this word, endometriosis. Osis. Intrometriosis. Endometriosis. Okay.
That's
all
it.
right. Endometriosis.
Yes.
Look, Think
That's
Fam.
it. That's it. Uh-huh.
Endometriosis. Huh?
Yes.
Okay. So within this, can you tell the Think Fam, what is this?
Endometriosis is a highly inflammatory disease. It is also systemic, so it can attack every organ in one's body, in the female's body. Also, endometriosis is the endometrial-like tissue that is found on the outside of the uterus, and it actually grows on the outside of the uterus, and it can attach itself once again to every organ in one's body.
Wow. Okay,
Yes.
so it does a lot and attacks a lot.
Yes, yes.
And even when I saw your segment, I had to Google it. I'm like, can men get this? And men can, but it's very rare.
Yes.
Very, 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 very rare. But men can get this as well. So what was life before endometriosis?
Life was great. I mean, life was wonderful. I was working my career. My undergraduate degree is in social counseling. So I was working in a capacity of the court, and I was doing pretrial at the time. I was living my best life, my absolute best life, investigations and appearing in court and advocating for youth and things of that nature. So I just had it all together in my life. That's how I felt. And of course, being a mom, a single mom at the time, My son, he probably was like middle school, high schoolish, but life was great. I mean, I was working out, I was in the best shape of my life, just living life,
Living life, living your best
living
life.
life
Like it's golden, because it is still
like it's
golden.
golden.
I tell you. So I must say within that, right, as you're living life, at what point, like how many years ago did you start seeing a different side of yourself? Like this ain't me. This is something's happening.
It was in my mid 20s, early 30s. I started to experience pelvic pain. I used to feel like I was walking on someone's head. Now, what that feeling was, I never really got to the bottom of that. But my menstrual cycles, of course, was heavy. And that's the thing with endometriosis. It's beyond the womb. So it's beyond just the pelvic pain and the heavy menstrual bleeding. You can also have chronic fatigue. That was one of the worst symptoms that I had, chronic fatigue and debilitating headaches. So I was going back and forth, just seeing different doctors and just kind of trying to put all the pieces together. Like, why am I so tired? And I wasn't even anemic at the time. So I could not figure out why I was so tired. I was working out 5 to 7 days a week, eating a nutrient rich diet. And I'm like, why am I so tired? Like, tired to the point leaving home, I would have to pull over on the side of the road just to get some sleep, to get to my next destination.
Wow, that's
Yes,
scary.
scary.
That's scary. And when I was listening to the other interviews that you had in the past about this,
Mhm.
and you mentioned that, I'm like, that happens to me a lot. And I was like, that's when I had to look it up. I'm like, oh, do men get this? Literally. So like
Yes, I'm saying.
having that experience, yeah,
Hmm.
you're a single mom, so you're traveling back and forth, taking your son to school, and you're
Hmm.
working and all this kind of good stuff, and you're going through this as well. I can only
Yes.
imagine. So when did you start having the conversations with maybe your friend or with your mom, like something is going on? I'm not sure what it is, but something is going on.
My mom actually noticed it. Like, she would notice that I would have those moments where I just fall into a sleep and woke up and just, had breakfast and everything. We could be talking and I'll fall into these sleeps. But if I can go back just a little bit further, because in my is when I recognized something wasn't right. But honestly, before that time, something was not right. I had a baby at 17. So after I had my son, I noticed that these symptoms that I was experiencing started to progress, just being chronically fatigued all the time. But I just thought maybe it was just me needing to go into recovery mode, like I'm still healing, but it never really got better. So my mom is the one that actually noticed. She's like, girl, you notice like you're sleeping a lot, or, and then I started notice the headaches getting worse. And she's like, I really think you have endometriosis.
Wow. And
Yes.
this, and you said that the headaches were there, and of course the heavy bleeding during your period, and also you had brain fog as well.
The brain fog. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, so all this happening during this time. Now, medically and historically, you're young. You're
Hmm.
17 years old, and you're starting to experience these things. Is it typical? Is that typical age, or does it happen when someone's older?
It's typical age. Endometriosis, I mean, it can even start earlier than 17. We can experience the symptoms, but you may not know that it's endometriosis, but you may have all of the signs, or you may have some of the classic signs and symptoms of endometriosis. But it actually takes about 10 years to receive a proper diagnosis.
Why does it take so long?
That's another thing that's puzzling to me. Once I talked to a doctor and I asked, I say, why does it take so long for us to get diagnosed with endometriosis? And what she explained to me was the insurance agencies. And I'm like, the insurance providers. I'm like, no, because my insurance provider was willing and ready to allow me to have a procedure. But it was all of the gaslighting. That's from my experience, it's the gaslighting. When they can't seem to pinpoint what is happening in your body, or their medication and their treatment plan isn't working, You're going to be thrusted to this specialist and that specialist. And by the time you finally find out what it is, sometimes it's too late.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the whole gaslighting aspect because Think Family, we come back, we're going to talk more about the gaslighting and all the
Mm-hmm.
procedures you went through and the misdiagnosis as well within that time frame. So Think Family, don't go away. Back in a moment.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny Lewis of Kenny Lewis and One Voice, and you're watching my boy Michael Finkley on the Michael Finkley Show.
Call on Jesus.
HBCU First. HBCU First Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. HBCU First is a student-led community advancing the well-being and economic participation of America's Black youth. As the leading HBCU internship and mentoring academy, we empower elite students from 70-plus historically Black colleges and universities with in-demand college-to-career skills. For more information, visit their website, www.hbcufirst.com. Hello, Fig Fan. Welcome back. And we're still chatting with Tamika with us, and she's still talking about her aspect and her experience with endometriosis. And I tell you, just hearing your testimony again, live and living color, and what you had to go through to get to where you are today, and still going through that aspect is first of all is encouraging, it's inspirational, but just to go through the process, I know it had to be very, very difficult and very hard for you. So let's talk about the gaslighting of it all, because you went through something. There were so many different misdiagnoses and so many different procedures that you had to go through. And like we said before the break, you said sometimes it takes at least 10 years
Yes.
for someone to just say, this is what you have. Sorry, this is what you have after 10 years, right? So talk about that experience that you started going to these different physicians.
The experience, it was long, it was lengthy, it was discouraging, and it was defeating. What doctors do not understand is the totality that it can take on an individual and how it can also affect that person's family and friends as well. I lost a lot, even down the line, losing my career as a result of being gaslit. Doctors downplaying, minimizing. They told me I was too young to have endometriosis. I was told only because I have one child, I don't have endometriosis. Even the STD and the STI testing just was beyond me. The pregnancy test, beyond me. And it just got to a point where I started to feel hopeless in the process, because I was like, if they're not believing me, I'm constantly taking off time from work. I'm a single parent. I'm losing out on my finances. It's becoming a problem now. And if they're not believing me, what else can I do? I'm bringing in my documentation. I'm bringing in pictures. I have a medical binder of my symptoms. I have my journaling. What more can I do? I was at the crossroads. And, at one point I became silent because I did not want to lose my career. See, that's where I was hanging in limbo. Because if you, as a Black woman, when you speak, now you're being aggressive. Now you're being combative. Now you think you know it all. Now you're being argumentative. And those are the things that I have experienced. So sometimes I would just sit back and just listen and allow them to do whatever it was that they wanted to do. And then my mother came along. And then sometimes there was one time we almost got put out. But sometimes it's like you get in that position to whereas it's like, are y'all listening? Are you seeing this woman deteriorating? As a parent, to see your child deteriorate, what more can you do but become aggressive at some point, in your tone of voice, or just saying, hey, look, this is what you need to do for her today.
Especially after procedure,
Yes.
testing, and you're going to insult me saying I have an STD. and all these different things that come along with it. You said deteriorate. Your body and your, I guess your mind were just over it. Like, can you go more in depth with that? Like the aspect of actually deteriorating within your own sight and with your family side as well.
So as far as my appearance was I was deteriorating. I just didn't look like myself anymore. The dark circles under my eyes, I looked stressed. The muscle mass was just declining in my body. And you have to imagine a person that works out 5 to 7 days a week. So now I have muscle, and you can see it through my shirts and all these different things like that. And so then you go from that to like just nothing, like a wet dish rag. And so that's what I mean by I was deteriorating. Cannot get out of bed. I was incapacitated a lot of times, and just not being able to be myself and just function and live life.
Yeah. And that can not weigh heavy. I know it weighed heavy on you, but also on your son and your mom. And,
Yes.
because I can just by talking with you, you have the energy.
Yes.
So just, I can only imagine in that part, in that realm. So when did the sun become brighter? At what point when they said, we found out what you have?
I went to a doctor's appointment. My mom was there. And by this time, I had been seen in the ER multiple times on high doses of medications like morphine, and it was not working. So it got to the point the doctor said, you know what, I'm going to give you an emergency laparoscopy. And that was the day I could have just did a praise break all throughout the office. Okay. Just a praise break, stomping all throughout the office, because I was so happy. But then I got scared because I was like, what if they don't find anything? I was so afraid of that because for a long time being gaslit, doctors sometimes have this thing, they don't want to be wrong. So I had that fear, like, what if she is right? My mom was like, no, you have endometriosis. You're getting this procedure. So I got the procedure. And even after, I went through my stages of grief, from being in denial to accepting the condition. But I never really got back to myself, if that makes sense. I never really got back to myself. Now, I had some relief knowing I have endometriosis, but I didn't know what to expect life to be like thereafter.
And I'm so glad you said that, because that runs into our next segment as well. So, Think Fan, when we come back, we're going to talk about like after for Tamika as well. So don't go away. We'll be back in a moment.
Francis Chule. I play Pierce in Invasion on Tubi, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show.
Looking for some of the best soul food right here in Mullins, South Carolina? I promise you, come on down to Garden Alley.
Our great salad's fabulous. Our water gained, our potato salad, our chicken is fresh. Macaroni and cheese is salted to perfection. I haven't found anything that's not great. Best ever.
Banana pudding, cakes, pies. Yeah. Selection is huge. Garden Alley is an awesome place to eat. I really love it.
Come by and see the amazing staff at Garden Alley, downtown Mullins.
Hi guys, welcome to Awaken. We wanted to serve the city of Mullins. We are church owned, and we felt like a coffee shop was such a huge need in the city of Mullins. There's nowhere for people to just come, get a cup of coffee, sit with friends, maybe do some work on the laptop. And so we feel like it was a service that we could give back to the city. Well, our hope is that people will feel calm, that they'll feel welcome, that Let it be a place where they can come and just clear their mind.
We come here twice a day. That's how good their smoothies, their coffee, their lattes, frappes, delicious. I would love the atmosphere here. If I had time to come and just sit and relax, I would. It's awesome.
One thing that I really love about it being here is just the cozy environment. It's so inviting. I can come in here and I can get my schoolwork done, a good coffee and a good meal. But I'm just really thankful that they're here and that I have a good place to go.
We're open Tuesday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Awaken Coffee Bar, downtown Mullins.
So, hey, Think Fam, welcome back. I'm just going to start asking questions. Welcome back, Think Fam. Again, we're still sitting with Tamika with us, and I'm telling you, her story is just so inspirational and so incredible of her experience. And I feel that if you can go through it, someone out there that's watching can say to themselves now that I can go through it as well.
Yeah.
Knowing now that I know more about this that you went through. So, life after, you said that you didn't know what to expect. And I feel that doing this dramatic thing that happened to you, it was definitely going to be different for you. But I feel that it's going to be different for you in a positive way as well. So what has happened?
I rediscovered myself. I rediscovered my purpose and my passion in life. That's what has happened. You know, I'm still on my healing journey. I decided not to go with the Western medicine. I tried it. It did not work for me. And that's one thing that I want to really put out there. You know, what may work for someone may not work for you and vice versa. So I had to learn that my body is unique. And just because my body was not receptive to Western medicine, that doesn't mean that I'm not still healing. And it doesn't mean that I can't find my healing, because I can and I have. And with that being said, I decided to break off into complementary and alternative medicine through massage therapy and medicinal herbs and sea moss gel. And now I have generated my own treatment plan. I still have a team of doctors. They're fully aware of the decision that I have decided to make. I still have flare-ups. That's a part of endometriosis. And it's okay to not be okay. There are times I accept, you know, the diagnosis. There are times I'm like, the hell with this diagnosis. But, you know, but it has helped me to reach back and to help others. And that's what I love about it, because sharing my story and being so transparent and open about my process and the things that I've gone through has even cut down the time of other women having a prolonged diagnosis. And that brings me like so joy. And then my son gets to see me live out my passion. I was fired ultimately from my career of 7 years. Yes, I was fired. But I say all of that to say this: I am so grateful. I'm so thankful. And I'm so humble about it, because if it had not been for my journey, I would not have this testimony.
I love that, because the journey, I feel that it's just beginning for you as well, because now you have a platform. You have a platform to share with others why this is so important. So we, like I said, we saw you in Tamron and so many other podcasts and so many other platforms. And it's just so amazing to see the blossom behind it, because many people need to know about it, especially in March, the awareness of it all. Why do we need to know about this?
We need to be and informed so that we can know how to help others, especially men. Men need to be educated and informed, because you have over 200 million women who suffer with this debilitating condition. And our lifestyles are different. It affects the whole body. It affects us psychologically as well. So there's not just a physical component of the effects of endometriosis and medical gaslighting, but there's also the effects psychologically, from anxiety to depression. And even myself, and I spoke of this in another podcast session very briefly, of how I wanted to end my life at one time. And these are the things that we deal with, and these are the things that we go through. So it's good to be empowered, informed, and educated so that we can reach back and help others and build a community of support.
And that's what it's all about,
Mm-hmm.
supporting, and we're paying it forward as we continue to support one another
Absolutely.
in this realm. So I know the journey is going to always be continuous. How can the Think Fam follow you on social media to learn more? Or can we even give as well? How can we give of our time and our funds towards this?
Tamika D_Smith on all social media platforms, including YouTube. I also have a new ebook. I have a new ebook. And it's titled The Most Toxic Relationship I Ever Had: Surviving Medical Gaslighting, Loss in My Path to Healing. I want to encourage each and every one of you, even if you do not have endometriosis, I want to encourage you all to get the ebook, especially if you have a daughter, if you have a wife, if you have a mother, if you have a sister, a colleague, because endometriosis is not biased. It doesn't matter your age. You can be diagnosed at 40. You can be diagnosed at 35. I was diagnosed at 34. So it does not matter. It's not subjective. And I want people to be empowered and know how to advocate for oneself. Just in case, you need to know how to advocate, but also be that support for another person as well. And I want people to understand that endometriosis, if you have endometriosis, that's just a part of your story. That's not your total destination.
Not the end, y'all. It's not the end. It's definitely not the end. I say thank you so much for being with us, because I learned something. Every time I turn on this camera, I'm like, I want to learn something as well. So I know that I learned something along the way. Thank you so much. And you have so many more opportunities out there for you to, I can get the message across. So I can't wait to see what they are in the future. So we're going to be following you as well on social media. But thank you so much for what you're doing. And please take care of yourself.
Thank you. I will.
Awesomeness. Thank you, Think Fam, for watching as well. And always remember to pursue your dreams. Have a good one.